Hey guys, this is Chess Banana for another episode of the lichess bot series. Our next opponent is maia5 with a rating of 1645 rapid. We're going to challenge this bot in 1510 rated, as usual. What is going on here? Okay, it's taking a while. Sorry about that. So, what do we do? Let's do d4. d4. Okay, let's maximize the screen a bit. Okay. Knight f6. Do we want to play more mainline or more unusual stuff? Okay, let's start with knight f3, a flexible move. Okay, so I think he wants to go into a more mainline c4 King's Indian thing. Do I want to go for that? Okay, I think I can start with c4. d5 I don't think is a good move. Knight c3 is an option, g3, bishop g2 is another one. Yeah, I think... I could try to go for a setup like this and this, but I prefer this, a Catalan setup. I find this is quite good, and it's easy to play. So do we start with bishop g2? Is there any difference? Knight c3 increases our control of d5. So if bishop g2, d5, are we happy with that? If takes, he can take with the queen, we gain a tempo on the queen. If he takes on the knight, we gain a tempo on the knight. I think we're fine there, but on the other hand, this simply shuts down d5 entirely. Because takes, no it doesn't, he can still take. Okay, maybe we start with bishop g2. He doesn't want d5. Yeah, I guess it makes sense. He's going for the more normal King's Indian setup. So I guess the ideas will be, long term, his ideas will be like this. Although it's a bot, of course, they're not that predictable. They're known to play unexpected moves. So what does he want with this bishop? Is that going anywhere? Or maybe he wants the knight here, perhaps, for this and this later. Should I care? He's not threatening anything. I think I just either castle or knight c3. I think I can just castle first. When in doubt, just castle. It's going to be the safer option. Okay, so he wants knight b d7 as expected, but does he want to play for c5 or e5? If c5, I can push. So let's say I do this, which is a pretty normal developing move, and he does this. Can I just do that? Then I give him this square. Is that a problem? Not immediately. Okay. Can start with this. Honestly, I don't know. So again, going back to general principles, when you don't know, go for the ones that is more. Go for the move that follows principles. Develop your pieces, starting with knight, control the center, etc., etc. So can I take this? Yes, but then he takes back. What do I achieve here? So let's say this. Can take with a pawn or with a knight. Let's say this, he takes with a knight. Am I happy? I think so. Not really, because he hits this. Actually, this is mildly annoying because this takes with a knight, he hits this. I don't really want to do that. So I think if this and knight takes, I would have to take. I don't want to exchange queens because that gives him the file. It's fine, it's equal, but can't I just let him take and improve my knight? Like if I start with this, I just have to make sure that once my pawn's here, it will not be a target. Well, it will be a target, but it will be sufficiently defended. Yeah, I think that should do it. No threats immediately. So e4 is fine. Okay, are we slow? No, I think we're almost on time. Okay, knight takes d4, queen takes. Do I want to play? Queen takes is weird because I'm in the firing line of the bishop. On the other hand, does he have any discoveries? No. But then again, what does queen takes achieve? At the very least, there's gonna be a tempo move at some point, not immediately, but so I think knight takes is logical. Any tricks? No. And I don't think I want to be fancy with something like this because that's no. I think we just take. Okay, so. Yeah, as expected is yeah. I mentioned it previously, but now it's actually more. It's actually a little annoying because I can't exchange off this knight. And this is just really worrying. I don't like this dark square diagonal. But okay, let's look at it concretely. If takes, I expose this. You know, even if he does this, I still take here. So there are no immediate tricks. I think if this, he doesn't have time and my next move will be this. So the key concept is here. Can I get away with it, or does it have an immediate tactic? If it's black to play, solve it like a puzzle. Is there a tactic? Takes, so knight takes e4, no. Knight takes e4 and doesn't, no. I think we're fine. Because if this works, then I have bishop b2 and there's no problem anymore. Yeah. My next move is going to be, if I can play it, of course. Okay, so is this a problem? And of course he's attacking my queen. Okay, I could actually change plans a little bit and do this. It's weird because it blocks the bishop. On the other hand, it consolidates here. Gives me a good clamp on the center. This pawn is important, of course. So this gains a tempo. He has to move. Obviously, he can't go here because that's going to lose a piece. So there, he has to go back. I don't think he wants here. So probably, I don't think he has any tactical tricks. I think he has to go here or here. I mean, maybe here, let's say. Doesn't threaten anything, and then I can do this. But the alternative is to not push a pawn and do this. But there I'm giving him a tempo. I don't really like that. On the other hand, this weakens the dark squares, but how does this come here? Not so easy. Honestly, I'm not sure. Although this is also a healthy move, because it is going to connect the rooks on the next turn. Once I play bishop b. Bishop b2. Yeah, the bishop's going on b2. So it doesn't get in the way. I think it's fine. It consolidates these loose knights as well. Okay, so we're keeping the flexibility regarding this f3 push, because don't forget, pawns don't move backwards. Obviously, it's quite an obvious saying, but it is important. When you're not sure, don't do the pawn move, do the other move, because the pawn move is irreversible. Okay, so this, of course, it gains a tempo, so that is annoying, but then again, there is a weakness here. Can he defend it? Like if I just do this, do I just win the pawn or what? Or is there a trick? How does he defend this? Notice, of course, I've got this problem here, but this is defended by the queen, so I think that, wait. I have to watch out for some tricks like that, but I have the bishop. Using the pin of the knight on the rook, of course. Not immediately, but, you know, in some lines. So this, could he just like give me the pawn and then say that my knight's going to be pinned and that will be a problem? That actually could be really annoying, because then my knight is pinned. But then he still has to waste another tempo, probably. Maybe this. And then he has this threat. Eventually he's going to have this threat. I can kick the bishop at any moment to put a rook here. So perhaps I can just get away with this. It's a bit materialistic. Okay, let's just be materialistic and get punished if if we deserve it. Let's see. Okay, of course I can't take the bishop. That's a cheap trick. But I'm not going to. Okay, so I think I want to take like this, but the problem is, as we saw, he's gonna claim that this is a problem, I'm gonna be pinned, blah, blah, blah. So I can take with the queen, although, let's say, takes, this is undefended. Is this a problem? He can put a... No. His knight is attacked. He has to deal with it. Although he can do it with something like this, defending with X-ray. And then I have time to take. And he can't do everything at the same time, because if he does this, yeah, there's always some cheap trick at the end. I don't like this at all. Knight takes. No, I'm hitting his. Yeah, now I can't have my rook d1. So, okay, let's be on the safe side here. Let's err on the conservative side. I think I can probably get away with something like queen takes d6 or... Yeah. I think I can get away with this, but it just requires too much calculations. It's just not a good bet against the computer. Okay, but the point is that I didn't have to go straight away for the pawn because I can just increase my pressure like this. Yeah, and I don't think he can defend this. And now I finally get out of the alignment. My rook a1 gets out of the way of the bishop, and I've solved all my problems on the diagonal. So knight takes with a threat on b7, knight takes. If he takes, I'm very happy. If he doesn't take, what can he do? Then I take. I mean, he's going to have to defend. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. This is much easier to play. You see, instead of going for the really complicated line that can easily backfire, just play the simple move. Don't be too greedy. Exchanging queens would of course be extremely helpful, so I really want that. Have an extra pawn, have the file. If he puts a rook on the d file, I will put mine on the d1. Rook fd1 is next if he puts a rook in front. Okay, I'm very happy with that. Let's just check that there are no tricks. Knight takes. No, it's fine. And the reason there are no tricks is because I've solved all my weaknesses here. And that's the key concept. It's rather than calculating lots of tricks, make them disappear in the first place by making your position more robust, or reduce, let's say, the probability of occurrence of such tricks. Now the position is dry. Well, it's not completely dry, but it's much less complicated and less risky. Yeah, this bishop is really strong. This bishop is just blocked. This would be a great exchange. If I can exchange off this, I think I'm extremely happy. Another improving move, claiming a square here. This is annoying. So this, I think, does two things. Hits this and deals with the knight here, because if he... no, he's going to take. Yeah. So and obviously I can't do this. So this is going to take me for sure. and they play knight here, and then this. If he pushes the pawn, I think I go here, and if he doesn't, then he has to defend like that. I think that's quite passive, so I should, even though it takes time, I should be able to consolidate this and eventually exchange off the knight. It does take a lot of time for sure, but it should be good for me. The reason this takes time is this pattern. Notice 2 squares in diagonal. With a knight you need 4 moves to go from this square to this square. Okay, so he's offering an exchange, which is not just an exchange, but it worsened his knight. His knight was poised to go here, and now that's not happening. Well, it might eventually happen, but not immediately. I think I have to exchange unless I'm going to do this. Actually, that can be a nasty one. And say, okay, I'm hitting this, and I'm asking you to exchange me. Gain the tempo, but the tempo for what? For this? That's kind of what he wants. And then this. Okay, I'm not convinced. Okay, I think the king has to get in the game. I'm gonna have to use the king, and then eventually this, and this. It's a lot of arrows, sorry about that, but the point is, yeah, first square control, create a force field here. No one can penetrate. The only way would be for the king to penetrate would be through here. We can shut it down at any moment, so I think that's good. Now, these are the squares I'm looking for. So if I go here, I just walk into a check. Like, why would I allow that? And then if I do this, I walk into another check. Why? I think it makes more sense to start like this. Like, is this a concern? Hitting this and then what, this? This, could it be a problem? It does look annoying, I have to admit. But then again, if I do this, then this one is a problem. Is it? Okay, I think I'm fine with that. But then what's wrong with just this? If this, same thing with the tempo. And if he tries some weird stuff, I mean, I should be fine. No, I should be fine. I think I start with this. Okay, so my king must centralize. Okay, so he goes for this one. So here I said either this, and this is an option, but this is really plan B if plan A fails. So this is what I want. He's going to try this, of course, which is actually annoying. And if this, he can just take, and I take, and this is not convincing. So it looks like I'm gonna have to do this, but then my weakness will be here. How does he attack it? He needs to go here. So do I have time to deal with this? Yes, 1, 2, I have time. Okay, so let's do that. We're gonna have to do some defense here. Weakness on, he will go for b3 for sure. His plan is, okay, that's another way of going for b3. Of course, if we do this, we walk into a fork and he gains b3 for free. So I think we have to do this because he will do this. And the thing is, when we do this, we also gain a tempo. A crucial tempo. Knight a1 is, well, don't think that's going to work. Okay. He is really persistent. Extremely persistent. Okay. So how? Okay, can this situation just defend itself? Basically, whenever he attacks this, at the very least I have this, and is yes, my knight's tied to defending this, but so is his knight. He's tied to attacking it. So I think it's time to just try to improve the king. You know, go here. But then if I go here, no check. Well, there is a check here. Ah, and it's a fork. Okay, that's a real problem. That's extremely annoying. So I can't go here because of that annoying fork. That is a real problem. So I have to go here and here to force him to move that stupid knight. Ah, this is so hard. Okay. And if I go here, going after this, can I get away with something like this? Then he's gonna go for my pawn, and I will go for his pawn. When in doubt, play a waiting move. It's a move that improves my position because I shut down entry on the light squares. Let's just pass the ball back to him and see what he does. Okay, so now my hand is forced. So the problem is this. Yes, he has a check, but there's no fork. Ah. So he gives me a pass pawn. So on paper it's good. In practice, actually this, if he takes this, I think that's good for me. And if this, what can he do with this check? Is that really helping him? He's got the check here. What do I do? I don't know. Time's running out. I just need to find the move. So at some point you just need to play also by elimination, look at the moves that seem to be losing and avoid them, and then just see how it goes. So the nice thing about this is he can't check me immediately, so let's just do that. I'm improving my king as well. So even if it's not correct, it can't be completely wrong. Another tactic I see is deflecting the defender here. Can I get away with this? What does this actually do? I can separate his pawns, that can be good for me. I can also separate mine by doing that, but at least I think it frees my knight, because my knight was tied to defending this weakness. So now, of course, if he takes, I take his knight so that I can pre-move it. Okay, so I can do this now, improving the knight. He can't take, and I'm threatening to take, so I like that. Okay. We should be better, like in theory, I think. Yeah, okay, this is check. He recaptures. And I can't get away with this. Okay, so check, he recaptures, and I can't really gain anything. But wait, but then I have this. Can I do something there? There has to be something. At the very least, it simplifies a bit, which is good when you're short of time. Okay, so how do I attack him? If I could distract this king, I go here, and that's amazing. So let's start with this. Okay. That's annoying. He wants to go here. Oh wow, actually he's forking a fork. This is so nasty. So he has this, but then if I defend it, this fork is unstoppable. There's no way for me to defend both the fork and this. Oh, this is unbelievable. Okay, I think I'm gonna do this, unavoidable, so let's just try. Let's try to quickly make a pass pawn on the king side, and he's gonna have an a pawn. It's just unstoppable. Yeah, that was really a tricky one to find. And the worst part is that my king's becoming really passive as a result of this, which is exactly what I don't want. So then, like, how do I attack his pawn? It takes me a million tempos. But what else can I do? Very annoying. Okay, let's start. Okay, now we have a pawn, and do we have a safe square to retreat to? Yes. Okay, I think we're doing good. We got our pawn back, although it's this asymmetry of the a pawn being passed, and we still don't have a passed pawn. Okay, nice thing is we do this with tempo, so that's good. Okay, so let's just play a safe move. We're threatening a... No, we're not. Actually, we're tying the knight to defending c5 because of the fork on e6. Okay, does that mean I have this? No. So annoying. This, and if this, then what? This, and he runs out of tricks? Does he? These tricks are endless. Okay, can I finally shut down these tricks? He has this. It's unbelievable. And this, of course, is a problem. Okay, I don't know. Knight f2 is extremely annoying. It's extremely annoying. Knight f2 is a real problem. Let's see if he wants to repeat. Knight d1, king d2. Of course he does. It's unbelievable. Of course, knight f2. Okay, but let's go for it. Thing is, at the end of the line, I think I win an a pawn, but it's really unclear. No, I don't win the a pawn. Yeah, there's still a problem. Because if I just take the a pawn, then I lose this one, and that I think is a serious problem because the king gets here. So I think I have to defend this one, and instead I want to go this way with my king. And my threat will eventually be, if I can action it, my threat is going to be this one. But of course he never lets me play, so now he's threatening the pawn. So takes is not good for me. I don't want this king here. I don't want to allow his king to enter the party. That's going to be a real problem. So taking, I think, is a mistake because of king g5. Okay, now that should be winning for me because I believe this is forced. Then this. Oh, careful here. Oh, careful. This. Can I do that? Does this win? I hope so. I think so, but I'm not entirely sure. I think the C... Okay, I think the idea is I want to use both pawns to create a promotion threat and overload his king. So he has to defend the C and F pawn at the same time. I'm 3 moves away from promotion. Okay, so I want this, and he's going to do that, and then this. And at some point, he can't stop both at the same time, but I'm also going to have the same problem here. It's just that his 2 pawns are a bit further away. The F pawn is under control. He can't take the C pawn, or I promote the F pawn. Okay. So I think we finally prevailed, but this one was really difficult. Or maybe we just really misplayed. I think, yeah. Okay, so now the game is essentially over, but the problem is these bots just don't want to resign, so I have to continue all the way to checkmate. It shouldn't be too long. Once I make a queen, take the pawns, it should be easy. Once I have the queen, there should be a lot of pre-moves. So just take the pawn, I'll take yours, it's all going to be easy from here. In fact, we're going to start with this one, because this pawn is the most dangerous. I'm not sure we even want to take it, because I don't want to... I like my queen here. Yeah, I want to move this pawn. And I can do 2 queens and then a ladder mate. For example, a million ways to win this. Okay. If he makes a queen, I take it. Can even pre-move that. Okay. Still attacking this one, but I don't care. I just want a second queen and mate quickly. Okay, with 2 queens, it's on an empty board with nothing to get in the way. The checkmate just... You can almost checkmate by accident, just by checking without any... Frankly, you don't even need to think about it. You just play check, check, check until the checkmate just happens by itself. The idea is to get closer and closer to the king, and eventually a checkmate will happen. Yeah, for example, like this. Queen's connected, closer and closer to the king, and it'll just get checkmated in no time. Okay, and that's checkmate. I didn't even have to think about is it checkmate or not. By just throwing in some checks that make sense and make forward progress, if you like, you inevitably end up with a checkmate. And of course, as long as you play with check, it cannot be stalemate, so yeah. Okay. Okay, so the end, of course, was easy, because once we have a queen, already we made a mistake in the endgame, a blunder in the endgame. Yeah. To be honest, these pawn endgames are very difficult, and yeah, I'm not surprised. Okay, so there's quite a lot to go through. We'll just go through mistakes and blunders. So here, okay, and this, okay, here I got too greedy. So then what does the computer want me to do? Okay, so knight is minus 0.9, okay, and the computer wants what? This. Okay, but the real question is why is okay, well, like why is this a problem? Like, where is the refutation? Knight f3, a6, what? Okay, let's say a6, that's the move I anticipated, which makes the most sense. That's the line I calculated. So what's wrong with this? Yes, there is that. Okay, he played that during the game, but so what? So it prevents me to put a rook here, perhaps, because it prevents this. And then Stockfish says this. Let's say this, the most human move. This knight's going to be awkward, but what is he threatening? Does he have a threat? Yes, knight e8. Yeah, so it's pretty much bad for the reasons I explained during the game, but I wasn't sure. I just didn't go for it, but I didn't really calculate it properly either. So a4 was bad, but then what am I supposed to do? This? This is not the move. It's probably still winning, but I don't understand what happened here. Okay, this is extremely confusing. So what is the problem? So knight b5 we saw, bishop takes g. We didn't see this one. Okay, that's his blunder. Yeah, okay. So we want to see my mistakes. a4 was a mistake, but okay, what was I supposed to do? Knight a4? Allow this? What? Oh yeah, because this. What is the idea of knight a4? Knight takes. Computer wants this. Knight takes, knight c1, and then my knight is tied to defending this pawn. b5, and and his knight is a bit misplaced. Still, there's some knight a2 coming. I don't know. Okay, probably. Okay. So apparently that was the correct way to play this position. And as for knight c1, yeah, knight c1 is very passive, but then what else are you supposed to do? This? Such a strange move. What is even the idea? Okay, you have a threat, obviously, taking on b6. So then he has to do that and that. So you're forcing this. He doesn't have time to take on c3 because of that threat of taking on b6. Actually, that's pretty clever. And then he's got these messed up pawns and this weak one, which will fall no matter what. I mean, at some point it will fall. Okay, that was pretty clever. g4 was wrong. How can this be wrong? It's such a logical move. Like, where is the refutation? Knight c3, apparently I have to accept a perpetual check. A draw here? Okay, because of the a pawn, I don't know. So how does this solve my problems? Because he still has his pesky checks. For example, this one. Like, how do I eventually get rid of his checks? Let's say I do this, and then what? How do I make progress? Okay. I just don't really understand. Where is even my threat? My threat is to push the pawn. Okay, it's not easy. It's still going to be quite a bit of work, but okay. And then king e3 was wrong. Why is this wrong? It allows another check, but then what? Apparently he had this. It's just so complicated to calculate these lines. It's wrong, but for reasons that are based on really, really long lines that are impossible to calculate. So on a human level, like at 1900 lichess, it's not really important. I mean, this is so weird. Okay, wow. Okay, actually, yeah, this is really powerful. Okay. Yeah, it's not so much that this is wrong. I mean, it is, but it's more that this wins the knight. This actually wins the knight. The only square is this one, and you can see, this happening. And it's as slow as it is, it's unstoppable. Of course, you still have to deal with this. But of course, you have time. Yeah, I don't think he has time, because you're going to take the... yeah. Because you gain a tempo with this one. And even without that, you know, the knight will be on time. Okay, so that actually was a nice move. Okay, inaccuracies when I'm gonna go. Okay, let's stop it there. I think that was enough.